Hey guys, and welcome to Armchair Conversations with Rob. A lot of times people tend to be pretty hard on themselves, especially people who are working on themselves. So much so they get tired out. It's not easy to develop a normal level of ability and skill in physical things, much less truly working out the weaknesses in your personality. When those things get to be very hard, it can literally drain you, make you stall out, or even quit. Where I stand now, and what I see and understand, there's some reasons that are all too common that contribute to our developmental demise. You see, most of us tend to look at ourselves in separate pieces, compartmentalized, if it were. It has places in certain situations as a coping mechanism, particularly in emergency times of stress. At best, though, it's a tactical error in our quest for personal development. As such, we tend to see either the good or the bad in ourselves in isolation, which that can lead to seeing ourselves as only good or bad, usually to our loss. What I mean by that is, like, when you see only your good, you tend not to notice your bad, and it leaks into your world. And that leakage affects everything you do, or say, or don't do for that matter. And when that happens, you can have a choice. You either basically put yourself in denial and see none of your bad and think that you're perfect and can do no wrong, which is totally ridiculous. It often lets you rationalize negative expressions of emotion like judgment, criticism, hubris, condescension. List goes on. We're all human beings, therefore, we're all works in progress or not, as the case may be. Not to say that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I used to hear a friend of mine say, it is what it is. Actually, a lot of my friends say that. However, I don't feel like acceptance has to be hand in hand with immobilization, stagnation, or not moving forward. Being incapable of seeing your flaws can allow you a sense of luxury that doesn't help the world you live in, nor yourself. You definitely will not be socially compatible with other people, as you can be very judgmental and intolerant of others who don't meet your standards, which you already think are better than everybody else's, and therefore that becomes a reason to disqualify them from receiving the gift of your friendship. When you can't see your flaws, you're not able to accept other people's imperfect good either. Why? Well, because you judge against your own, which you believe is perfect, and if it deviates even a little bit, it's basically false. Again, we're talking about people looking at either the good or the bad in isolation. And when you isolate, you lack contrast, comparison, and the depth of degree. And that makes it easy to be black and white, compare and contrast, false. In the strictest sense of the word, that is dogma. Okay, you say, but what if you're right? What if your ways are better? Oh my God, what if they're not? Now, we'll take the opposite side of the coin. You realize you're not perfect. In fact, you realize it all too well. And because there's at least a little bit of perfectionism in your compartment somewhere, whether it was put there by parents, well-meaning critics, arrogant assholes, teachers, social media, movies, art, friends, significant others, hateful, angry people, you get the picture. That little seed of negativity grows with every failure. It's impossible to have no failures, so if you have no reference point for assigning it value, the aforementioned things will certainly assign one for you. This assignment is usually not good for you, as it's intended to feed upon itself and really not drive you to improve anything. So if you haven't been told silly things like, if you don't succeed, try again, failure is an event, not a person, and so on. Hell, I've said some of these things to people myself. Those values assigned will usually be higher than the values you assign to your own worth. So you're encouraged to feel that, well, you don't stack up, that something's wrong with you, that you're bad, that when you begin to do what bad people do, then more situations are created to be assigned values to reaffirm that you are indeed bad. So some of the permutations of this expression are being too stupid, too fat, too ugly, too poor, not good enough, a criminal, unlovable, a racial stereotype. The list goes on and on. So hopefully at this point you can see that neither is very useful in creating a healthy whole person. Anyway, tune in for part 2 of this topic coming soon. And in the meantime, thanks for sharing my armchair. If you like it, subscribe, hit that thumbs up